listen, this is very important, and if you're African and you're out there watching this, I'll urge you to share it. According to the UN watchdogs, Africa loses about 50 billion US dollars every year to corruption or corrupt leaders, so to speak. At all levels, about 50 billion every year. That's what Africa loses. You will even be more shocked when you hear this. France alone, which is one of the 5 permanent member states of the UN Security Council, takes a total of 500 billion US dollars from Africa every year. 500 billion US dollars. That's what France takes every year from Africa. So that means the corruption in Africa is just about 10% of what France takes in a year. Let me tell you what it can do for Africa. So according to the African Union, a study they did showed that if we as Africa, the whole of Africa, invested 100 billion US dollars every year for a period of 10 years, would totally transform the infrastructure of Africa. That money France takes in 2 years. It would take us 10 years of investing 100 billion every year to transform the infrastructure of Africa. All that money France collects in 2 years. So now if you take into consideration what France takes, what the US takes, if we are looking for the problem which we face as Africa, we are hoodwinked to look within. So we are always looking at our leaders, when the real enemy is taking 10 times what our leaders are taking. 10 times what our leaders are taking in corruption. And you find that most of these leaders, okay, I know some of them go into offshore accounts and keep the money there, but for the most part, the money is spent in Africa. France is taking money and not giving back anything to Africa, but we don't look at them. So now, as we try to groom the future generation using information, we want the future presidents to be looking at these countries that promote democracy, but on that Security Council, the UN Security Council, where Africa is the biggest voting bloc, but we do not have a permanent seat on the Security Council. But countries like France, the UK, Russia, China are permanent members. They will never go off. So there's a dictatorship in that area. They are dictating whatever happens. And you see, this UN is where you have the WHO, you have all these organizations, the World Bank. There's a financial dictatorship with these members. And the consequences of all that are suffered by we, the Africans. Yet we are the biggest voting bloc. So, as we look at the problems for Africa, and I'm talking about the people, the young Africans who have vision, who have a sixth sense, look at the real problem. And remember, leaders are a consequence of the people, because you don't pick leaders from heaven. You pick them from the people that you have. You pick the leaders from your society. So the leaders are actually a reflection of what the society is. As we look at moving forward from where we are right now, we need to first of all improve as a society, as Africans, and get rid of that slave mentality, the mentality of subservience, the mentality of worshipping, white people and all their products. We need to get rid of that mentality and instill a new mentality. It's not actually a new mentality. We had that mentality before the white people came. So we need to go back to that mentality and believe in ourselves. And then we can groom the right type of leaders. Remember, this is very important. The leaders that we have are a reflection of our society. You do not pick the leaders from heaven or from hell, or you pick them from within you, so they reflect what you are. So now, as we try to improve, we need to first improve as a people, as Africans, we need to first improve our mentality. Then we'll get the leaders that we deserve, who will take us to the next level. And those leaders, some of the things that they have to look at, as you're looking for the problems that Africa is facing, you cannot look within the people. There's a bigger problem, and those are the white supremacists and the white elitists. Those are the people who are causing Africa to be where it is right now, because that's where they want us to be. So we need to look at that and look at it carefully and share this information to improve ourselves, to be knowledgeable. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.